Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Terry, and this is the Yarn Joy podcast, episode number 9. I have some finished objects today, I have some works in progress, and I have one shout out. So let's get started. My finished objects, I have been, for the past few weeks, I've shown you a baby blanket that I've been working on, and I've got that finished. It's from a book that I had already that I got at Michael's a while back. I'll show it to you again. It's Loops and Threads Baby Blocks. And I did the patchwork puzzle blanket, is what it's called. And there is the picture of what it's supposed to look like. Okay. And I've got it finished. And I have somebody to give it to. So I'm happy about that. Okay. And there you go. I did like the picture, except that I used Bernat Baby Softy for the yarn instead of the Loops and Threads. I believe it called for the Snuggly Wuggly, which is the baby yarn that Michael's makes. I also did it in the blue, the green, and the white, just like the picture, but I also added yellow instead of a dark blue because that's what I had. Okay, once I got all this, and I I did the squares, and then I whip stitched them together. They went together real easy. But once I got it together, it seemed like it wasn't quite long enough or large enough for what I was wanting it for. And so I went to this book that I showed a couple of episodes ago that I bought. And it's about, it's got crochet borders. It's got many different patterns. It has 139 patterns. I got it off of Amazon. And I picked out a pattern. I wanted something that would help enlarge the blanket, and so I went with pattern number 22 there, and I took the idea of that. I'm not sure, well, it says that you're supposed to have a multiple of 16 plus 13 stitches per side plus the corner stitches, and so I did that. And for some reason, when I did the first row, which was the yellow right there, when I did that one, I ended up with a couple extra stitches on each end, and so I had to fudge it just a little bit so then it would fit. And so from there, my stitches were off a little bit, and so I just kind of winged it after that and had it where they would line up. So I had to pull it out and redo it a couple of times, but I'm happy with the way it turned out, I think. And what I did is I used the yellow in the blanket, and I did a row of yellow, and then I did 2 rows of white, and then I did the green that was in the blanket, and then white on again. But before I did that, though, I put a base round of this blue here, and it's a little bit darker than the blue that I had. I don't know if it's Bernat Softy Baby or not. It might be something else, but I thought it harmonized well enough. It was the same type of blue, so I think it matched okay. So I started out with that, and then I added the border. So that's finished, and this is for a baby that's going to be born in some people that we go to church with. So I made that, and then I had some of that darker blue that I added on that blanket. I had some left, and so I ended up doing a beanie, little baby beanie blue to match. Did pretty good with, I'm getting a little bit better with the seams. My seams, at least they go up and down instead of kind of curve around to the side, so I'm getting a little bit better with joining my rounds. This beanie pattern I found online, and it is just a basic baby beanie, but the website I found it on was called creationcrochet.com, and I will put a link in the description box below of where that pattern was. Real super easy. I believe I used I used the hook that it called for. It gave me a gauge similar to a baby pattern that I showed you a few episodes ago, where after you did 3 rounds, it had to be a certain diameter of the circle. And so I did that, and it turned out fine. So I was happy about that. I used I've been using these hooks from the set that I purchased showed you last week. The Festival Hands crochet hook set. I got it from Amazon, and so I've been using them and kind of trying them out. And for that baby hat, I did use the brown one here, this one, and I believe it's an eye. It's an eye hook, yes. The hooks are not labeled with the American sizing of the letters for the hook sizes. It has the millimeters on it, but on the front label there is a little conversion chart if you need it. And so I believe that one is the 5.5 millimeter hook that I used for that. Okay, and and as you see, there's 2 of them missing because I've got them in some of my whips that I'll show in a little bit. Okay, and so my third finished object that I have for this week is a little scrap buster that I found off of Ravelry, and it's called the Snowman gift card holder. And there you go. Just use my scraps, so that's a good thing because I have lots of those. And I used white, and then you picked whatever color you wanted for the little mittens of the snowman and his hat. And then it has this little slot there. This is junk, see, it's got a piece missing out of it, but I wanted to see if it fit, and it did fit. I had no problem getting it sized right. It was true to my gauge, what I was doing. You did the little hat in the blue and stitched it on, but before I stitched it on to the head, I had some little purchased pom-poms. I got them at the craft store, Joann's or something, in a bag, a whole bunch of colors, and I just stitched that at the top, through the top of the hat, with some sewing thread, and so that did fine. I made the little knot eyes that I talked about last week about how you can make them, and those went on really well, so I was happy with that. And then I have a little orange piece there for the nose. And I was thinking, well, what else could you use this? Because you could put a string through it and like hang it from the Christmas tree, and have the gift cards, for the kids or grandkids or whatever. But I was also thinking that it might be cool to use, because the little pouch that the gift card goes into is this little pouch, like a little kangaroo pouch. And I thought, well, if you could find a little tiny snowman pattern, that would fit, like it's the little baby, the little snow baby that the snowman is hanging on to. I thought that would be cute. I'm sure there's other things that you could think of to use instead of putting gift cards in it. How about place cards, place card holder? Yeah, at a table with their name on it. At each place setting, that would be cute. I just thought of that. Okay, so that was my last finished object. That's all I have is for finished objects this week. I was really trying to get the baby blanket done, finished with, because I need to go ahead and give that to the mom who's having the baby, because the baby will be coming soon. So I wanted to go ahead and get it finished. So most of my week was spent on, spent on the baby blanket and the little hat, and then one of my works in progress that I'm about to show you. Okay, so for my works in progress, I have 4 works in progress. I try to limit myself to 4. I've been going through Ravelry and looking for patterns, and I've got so many pinned in or bookmarked, in my library. I've been wanting to make. I want to make this one. I want to make this one, but I've really been trying to limit myself to 4, and so that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to anyway. Okay, so. A couple of weeks ago, I was telling you about this project that I'm working on now, and it is for my oldest son, who is going to be having a birthday next week. He's going to be 27, and he really enjoys video games, superheroes in video games. But anyway, so this was a request from him, and he was wanting me to crochet him a Donkey Kong. So I found a Donkey Kong pattern, and it's on Ravelry. It is a paid for pattern, but it's like $1.99, so it's very reasonable. And so that's what I've been working on. So my week has been the blanket and the Donkey Kong. I don't know if I'll get the Donkey Kong done by his birthday, but since he knows about it, at least he knows that I'm getting it. I'm getting there. So here he is. He is so big. I showed you last week that I did his feet. So the body will be stitched onto the feet like that. I don't really know if he's going to stand up on his own or not. We shall see. So I do have both of the feet done. And then you started one of the legs and you got so far, and then you did the other leg, and then you connected them together, and then you start up. Okay, and so he's got this big broad chest. And this part right here is actually his head. So the chest and it goes right into the neck and the head. And so I'm not quite done. I have about 9 more rounds, I think, to get to the head and the little not comb over, but the little curl thing, you know, on the top of Donkey Kong's head, whatever it's called. Pompadour, maybe. Anyway, so, but I had to stuff, you know, I got so far, and then I was beginning to close up, and I thought, oh, I haven't even started stuffing it yet. And so I started stuffing, and I used all of my fiberfill, because I wanted to get him really firm. And so I had to go purchase some more. So in the meantime, I have got some more, but I just haven't, that's as far as I've got on him. So I still have to make his arms and his hands. And then of course you have a lot of detail on the head, his muzzle, his ears, you know, his eyes, and the prominent eyebrow across the top, or forehead, brow, you know. So he has a ways to go yet, so we shall see how much I get done this week. Okay, so that is the first work in progress. Okay, my next work in progress is I'm still working on the Moroccan window square blanket, I guess you'd say. It's a pattern from Ravelry. It is a 12-inch square pattern, free pattern, and I'm using it to use up scraps is what I'm using it for. I haven't worked on it, I have to admit. Haven't worked on it all this week, so I'll just show you quickly, but I mean it's the same as I showed you before, so I'm just to show you what it is. I intend to get some of this, you know, get a new square started today. So like I said, I did not work on it this week, so this will be worked on, get some more progress done for this week, I promise. Okay, so the third work in progress is as soon as I finish this baby blanket, I couldn't wait to start something else. I found this website. Can't remember how I found it. I don't think it's through Ravelry. I think it's just search and oh, here it is, and you go from one and it links you over somewhere else, and then I just found this website. So the name of the website is called twoheartscrochet.com, and it is a Disney Princess amigurumi set. I'm getting a little bit more confident, I think, in my amigurumis. I've been watching videos, tutorial videos on how to stitch the mouths better and how to stitch on the eyes better, and the features, you know, to make them look nicer. And so this one I found, and what it is, it's a whole set. And so the first one I'm working on right now is Snow White. And so far I just have the head. But I'm running low on this yarn. It's actually the same yarn that I used for the Donkey Kong, but I really like that color, the skin color. Well, it's a good skin color, I think. Or flesh color, I guess you'd say. This is Lion Brand Vanna's Choice in the color Fisherman. And I need to get some more because I've got more Donkey Kong to make. And this set of the Disney Princesses I want to make, they end up being, it says 3 to 4 inches tall, something like that. So, but it depends on what hook you use and size yarn and everything. But there's like 12 or 13 of them. They're really cute. Snow White is the first one. There's, well, all the Disney princesses, so I'm really going to look forward to making these. I think they're going to be really cute, and they use these 6mm safety eyes, and I got those off of Amazon. Let's see. Oh, and I'm using this is kind of an in-between size hook. It says it's a 3mm hook, and it's out of that set that I bought, but when I look on the conversion chart, 3mm is not listed on here. It says that, I mean, well, it is as part of this set, but as far as the American standard of the letters, you know, that they use for hook sizes, there isn't one for this one. There's 2.75mm, that's a size C. And then the next one is 3.25mm, which is, they say that's a size D. And this one is kind of in between those two. So C/D. But this is the size that I'm using. It seems to do good with the hook. The yarn, it's this very small hook, maybe it's between a C and a D. But it grabs the yarn well. It doesn't seem to split it. So I think this will be okay. And I want them to, you know, still be kind of a small size, and the holes between the stitches be pretty dense so you can't see the stuffing through it. So that's what I'm working on with that. And then something else I started this week. I belong to a crochet group called Cal Crochet Along. I think that's what it is. It's on Facebook. And so there's people doing crochet alongs all the time. And they show pictures of what they're doing, and they give links and tell people about upcoming crochet alongs that are happening. And I saw this one, and I thought it was so cute. And they're not, you know, most of them, when they have these squares you have to do, most of them, they're very large squares, like 12-inch squares, 12.5-inch squares. And I really don't necessarily like that big of squares. But this one, I thought would go along with my Scrap Buster challenge that I'm working on for myself. Just challenge myself to get rid of some scraps. It's called the Groovy Mini Granny Square Baby Blanket. And the website that I found it on is americancrochet.com. And there is an introduction, talks about it, and you can get the links to the squares. She releases 2 squares a weekend, so one on Saturday, and then she does the next one on Sunday. It just started this past week, so I have those 2 done. And so she'll tell you how many to make of each one. I think the first one I had to make 4 of them, and then the second one I had to make 3. And I think from now on you just make 3 of each one. And then there's a layout of the squares, you know, where each one is going to go. So I thought that was good. And she said to pick, I think 7 colors. And so I just pulled the stuff out of my stash that I had, and I tried to go with the same brand of yarn, so that way, you know, I don't have trouble with my gauge and blocking and all that. So these are the colors I picked out. This was square number 1, and like I said, I had to do 4 of them. Here's the first one. I'm using this peach. I had a very large ball of this. I think the peach is not Red Heart. I think it is Karen 1-pounder, I think. I think it's called peach. Lost the label with that one, sorry, but I think that's what it is. I've had it for a long time. But then all the rest here, I believe, is Red Heart. So I have that peach. I have the yellow in the middle, which is not a bright yellow. It's kind of a soft yellow, I guess you'd say. And then there's a blue right there, light blue. And then you have a green, which I believe this is the tea leaf green, which I used for the tree right there that I made not too long ago. So I had some quite a bit left over. Well, I used up one. I had to get another one, and I didn't use a lot of that one. And then I had this purple, and I believe it is Red Heart. I think it's called medium purple. And then there was another color that's not on this one. Well, actually 2 more colors. Not on this one, but they'll be incorporated into the other squares. So this was the first one I had to do. I had to do 4 of them. Is it focusing maybe? There it goes. Okay, and so I did that one, and then the next day they released square number 2, and this one is how this one turned out. Okay, and so this one's got a couple of more different colors. This green, it's like a really bright green. That one, I think it's like spring green or celery. I can't remember, but I had the label, but it's over there. Anyway, and so that one, and then this pink, I believe it said she had used like watermelon or something, but I had this pink from a mermaid blanket that I made a while back. Had quite a bit left, and it's called Shocking Pink. So anyway, so that's the first 2. I made 4 of these and 3 of these, and they are 4.5 inches in diameter. They said that's about what it is when blocked. I haven't measured it. I can measure it right here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 inches, but then if you block it, you know, I think it'd probably come out to be 4.5. And then I used another hook out of this set that I bought, and this is the equivalent to a G. I believe it's a 4mm G hook. So that one's working fine. So that is my 4th work in progress. There is a Facebook group that's doing for this mini Groovy Gan, is it called? Groovy Mini Granny Square Baby Blanket. Anyway, there is a group, it's called the Creative Crochet Workshop, and there's a Facebook group that's dedicated to that CAL, C-A-L, for Crochet Along. And you get 2 per week. I believe that there's going to be a total of 8 squares, and like I said, each one you make 3, and then that very first one you have to make 4 of them. And then you have, and so each week that's 8, so that'll be like a month, 4 weeks. And then the very last week, so the 4 is 5, week 5, I guess. Anyway, that'll have the border and talk about the joining and that sort of thing. So I enjoy doing crochet alongs. I don't do them that often. In fact, this is maybe only the 2nd one that I've done, but I always like watching and looking at everybody's progress and see how they're turning out. And I found out about this like the day before it was going to start, and so I thought, oh, I wouldn't be behind if I choose this one. And I like the fact that, you know, you can it's a groovy Gan, so I'm sure that there'll be lots of different mixtures of colors throughout, and it's another way to, you know, to pull out some of my yarn collection and use it up. So that's what I'm doing. Let's see, work in progress. Yes, so that's it. The only other thing I have to talk about really is that I have one shout out. I found a new friend on YouTube, and her name is Lisa, and her channel is Lisa Happy to Hook. That's it, Happy to Hook. Sorry. And she does crochet videos. She makes a lot of crochet items for craft shows, and so she likes to do a variety of different items similar to some of the other ones that I've been watching. She's been making videos since May, so she's a little bit ahead of me because I started making videos in June. So go ahead and go over and check out her channel. And she just had knee replacement surgery, so I'm sure she's laid up. Well, not really laid up, because I know you have to exercise after they want you to move around after your surgery, but go see what she's up to and what she's making. Really enjoy her channel. Hello, Lisa. Good to meet you. I'm so glad I found you on YouTube. And then that's about it, really. The only I met another YouTube friend. She's not a crafter. She has cooking videos, and I've been watching her. Her name is Carrie, I believe, at Table of 3 I believe is her channel, and she's got lots of great well, not all low carb, but a lot of it is low carb food that she has on there, and she's got some great cooking videos, and so I've really been enjoying hers. So that's it, I guess, for this week. Like I said, I really was trying to get that baby blanket finished, and I'm still working on my school planning for the coming year. I'm a homeschool teacher of my teenage son. He'll be going into 10th grade, and so we have 3 more years, 10th, 11th, and 12th. To homeschool, and so I've been getting my assignments planned out for the next upcoming year, which will be starting next month. And I'm almost done. I got another subject to go, I think, and then I will be set, I believe. So I've been doing that and been working on my crochet and trying to stay cool in the heat. We're having temperatures over 100 degrees, so it's not fun. But just stay inside and stay hydrated, I guess. So thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. For those that have subscribed and came back to see what I'm doing. If you haven't, please subscribe and check me out next week too, and see how much of these works in progress I've done. And I really enjoy reading the comments that I've been getting with my videos. I've been watching YouTube videos for a long time, but I was not making videos. But I enjoyed watching them, and so I was real bad about watching, but I never would make any comments. I mean, occasionally I would put something in the comments, but not very often. But now that I have making videos, I see how important it is to leave comments for the people that are making videos. It just kind of helps them know that there's people out there that are watching and that they like what they're seeing on their videos. And it's just fun. It's fun to make friends that way and feel like more of a community. So if you get a chance, comment on the videos that you're watching, and everybody will really appreciate those people that made those videos will really appreciate it. It's so fun to get comments. You know, I get a notification that I have a comment on one of my videos, and oh, somebody commented, I gotta go see what it says, you know, so that's fun. My channel's growing. I'm really surprised, I guess, but I'm enjoying so much, making so many friends. And so subscribe if you haven't, and give me a thumbs up and comment on my videos and give me tips or kudos or whatever you want to say, I guess. Okay, so we will talk to you next week, and I will show you what I've done in my next episode and see how far